Welcome everybody. We're at Fire Station 33 in our gym, joined with Jesse and GC. We're going to do a little bit of a workout today. It's going to be real basic. We're just going to do a founder, 8-point plank. And we're going to do it to a timer. So it's going to be 20 seconds of each, 40 seconds of each, 60 seconds of each. And that's it. You guys ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Timer, set, go. We're going to start with the founder. All right, so let's bring your feet outside shoulder distance. Parallel these outside edges. Stand nice and tall. Chin up, chest up. The back of the neck is nice and long. Pull that crown of the head up towards the ceiling. Hands in measuring sticks. Elbows wide to the side. Let's take 3 decompressions breath in this position. Focusing on breathing width into the front, the sides, and the back. And you can see these guys are already breathing nice and big all the way around. Shift your weight to your heels. Push your hips back. Unlock your knees and bring your arms right out into the sphere of tension, high to the heart. Now is the time that's going to start, all right? 20 seconds. I should have specified that. So we're holding this position nice and strong. Inner or outer anchor. It's your choice right now. Whatever you need to work on, wherever you feel the most strong. Back of the neck is nice and long. Hips pushing back, knees unlocked, feeling that tension in the back side of the body. One more breath. All right, arms come to your side, hips go forward. Now let's bring it down to the floor for our 8-point plank. Take your time with the setup. Elbows slightly in front of the shoulders, slightly wider than the shoulders. Knees about hip distance apart. Feet, toes tucked underneath. And then the outer edges of the feet are parallel too. All right. Draw the back of the head, the front of the head, the forehead, as far away from the ground as possible. Press your elbows firmly into the ground. And with your breath, start to breathe the body off the ground, slow and controlled. Focusing again on kind of like that cobra back, that turtle shell. Keep breathing until the hips eventually float off the ground. That's when our time starts. You're going to hold that position, breath nice and big and wide. Let's add the anchor. Elbow towards elbow, knees towards knees, and then squeeze everything towards center. Remember to keep the tension not at an all-out 10 out of 10, but somewhere around a 5 out of 10. One more breath in that position, nice and strong. And then slow and controlled, go out of this position just like we went into it. Just as important. All right, bring yourself back up to the feet. Go into the same stance for this founder, nice and wide. Now if you did inner anchor on the last one, I want you to do the opposite on this one. All right, so just bring your arms to long wing. Bring the back of your neck nice and long. Take one large breath. Always like to set up the body for success before we go into the hip hinge. And let's go right into it. Let's bring that 40 seconds. So hips go back, knees unlock. I got the timer. I'm looking at it. Just really focus on getting into this position as deep as possible. Feeling as much muscle recruitment as we can. And if you want, like Jesse's doing, he's bringing the sphere of tension up to the height of the forehead. If you have that mobility and capacity, do it. If you don't, just keep working on your breath with your sphere of tension in the front of your chest. Press those big toes down to the ground. Anchor the body through those 3 points of contact. Hips go back an inch more. Nice. These guys are looking good. All right, come out of it and let's go back down to the ground. Again, nice and slow with the setup. Elbows slightly in front of, slightly wider than the shoulders. Knees look good. Toes tucked underneath like we're stretching the arches of our feet. Draw the forehead, nose, and throat as far away from the ground as possible. Good. Let's bring that breath into this. Now it's a breathing exercise, bringing the breath into the back of the rib cage. Imagine breathing it up towards the ceiling. And as soon as your hips start to float off the ground, and I'm going to give Jesse as my cue, time starts. That's 40 seconds. Nice and big. You can see Jesse's breathing big across the entire rib cage. And when he's exhaling, he's drawing that abdomen back, slow and controlled. But he's also maintaining that expanded rib cage the entire time. And if you see these guys are starting to shake, they're working, but they're looking good. They're maintaining the form. If during this time you can't hold the position, and you can't hold it to perfection, come out of it and then go right back into it. Make sure the technique is dialed. All right, guys, that's 40 seconds. Come back down. And we're going to do our last ladder of 60 seconds, the hardest one. All right, here we go. All right, bring your feet nice and wide. Stand nice and tall. Arms in long wing. Chin back, chest up. Let's focus on one breath between the shoulder blades. As big and as wide as you can. I won't make you suffer here any more than you have to. Hips go back, knees unlock, right out into your founder. Here we go for 1 minute or 60 seconds. Again, when you're in this position, we want to have perfect technique. If you can't maintain it, come out of it and then go back into it when you feel ready. Remember your inner or outer anchor. This is up to you again this time. Feel strong. But whatever you do, make sure you're firmly rooted in those 3 points of contact. And your breath is big, slow, and controlled. And the weight is held in the back side of the body in this hip hinge, activating this strong posterior chain. Your low back's probably lighting up right now. That's normal and that's okay. There we go. Hips back a little bit more. See how deep you can get into this position. The workout's almost done. We got 15 more seconds in this founder. You can see Jesse's getting nice and deep into that position, almost like he's transitioning into that forward fold, but he's not quite going into that. 2 more breaths, guys. You're doing good. Eyes are about 6 to 8 feet in front of you, keeping the back of the neck long. All right, come up out of it. Bet you guys felt that one. Last 8-point plank. You guys are done. You know how to get into the position by now. Get yourself set up. Pull that throat. Pull that nose away from the ground. Press those elbows firmly into the ground. Now let's add the breath. Bring the back side of the body away from the ground until the hips float off. So Jesse's hips just float off. So now I'm looking at my clock. I got 60 seconds on this top rung. All right, we did 20, we did 40, now it's 60. This is probably the most difficult, but you prepped and primed your system for this in the other 2 ladders, or the other 2 rungs, and now your body's ready for it. So just maintain it. Don't forget about your anchor. Elbows towards elbows, knees towards knees, and then squeeze everything towards center. You're going to shake on this one, that's guaranteed, but keep working through it. You guys are looking good. All right, slow and controlled breath in. Expand that rib cage as big and as wide as you can, up to the ceiling. You're almost there. We've got 20 more seconds. You guys are looking good. Keep that anchor solid. Try to fire those lats with those elbows firmly pressing into the ground, and then squeeze the elbows towards one another. You got about 1 more breath. You're doing good. Keep it up. 3, 2, 1. Slowly go out of it. And that's the workout for today. I hope you enjoy.